Hi guys, nice to meet you if you're new here, nice to see you if you're not new here. How's it going? I'm Lara. I have brought a new TBR jar up here. Instead of it being my old witch hand one that I've had for a while now, it's so cute. And also it's full of my prompts. If you can guess, we're doing TBR jar picks my June TBR. I haven't done a TBR in a little bit because I've been in this weird reading whatever's going on, but I'm finally doing a TBR. I'm going to pick, how many prompts should I pick? 6 or 7. We'll see what my TBR is looking like at 6. We know how this works. I pick when I read it, I pick a book off my TBR. Before I pick any of these prompts though, let me tell you about my book club book. We don't have a book picked yet for June, but I do have our options, so I'll tell you our options. By the time I upload this, the June book might be picked already, it might not. Maybe, just depends. Our book club picks as followed. Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, Funny Story by Emily Henry, and Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Farida Abike Emire. I am really excited about these 4 picks. I will be happy with any of the 4. Anyways, let's pick 6 or 7 prompts, pick books off of my TBR, and see if we read them this month. The color of the prompts in here have nothing to do with the actual prompts themselves. They're just the cards that I wrote on. Anyways, let's pick our first one. Let's see. Finish a series. Okay. So, ideal goal is to pick the last book in a series, which I have one in mind. But let me just look at my TBR and see what other books I could possibly finish. I'm in the middle of a ton of series, but the next book in the series is probably like the second or the third book, not the last book. So I'm going to pick Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is the last book in this trilogy that I'm reading. I read Legendary finally not too long ago. I read it for a video and then I scrapped the video. I didn't like it, so maybe I'll do this instead. This is the last book in that trilogy. They're spectacular, but that's kind of like a novella, so I won't count that. The way the last book ended is really taking the story to on a different path. And the first 2 books were going through Caraval as an actual game, but the way that last book ended, I'm not sure how Caraval or where Caraval will be a part of this book, but I am excited to read this. I really love the Caraval series so far. I gave Caraval a 5-star. I gave Legendary, I think, a 4.5 star. And so I have a lot of hope for this book being a higher rated book. Next prompt. This one is Mood Read. That's nice, that's nice. I get to pick a book that I want to read. Okay, well, what do I want to read? What do I want to read? Okay, I picked a book. This one, it's a mood read, but at the same time, I really want to read it in June because June, it's turning into summer. It feels great outside, and this book has been on my TBR for a really, really long time. Like when I had a super small bookshelf, and this was one of the first books that I ever bought. And I still haven't read it. And I tell myself every year I'm gonna read it in the summer. So while I'm feeling like this, while I'm feeling like reading summery books, People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This story is about Poppy and Alex that live separately in different states, but every year they come together and do a week trip. And in one of those trips, they ruined it and they haven't spoken since. It's been 2 years and Poppy decides, why don't we try it one more time? 2 best friends, 10 summer trips, one last chance to fall in love. I've been telling myself that I'm gonna read this every single year. Maybe this is the year that I finally pick it up. Prompt 3. I don't know if you guys can hear Tipsy snoring, but she's right under the camera and she's asleep. Okay, set in the current season, which is, technically it's spring. But I'm picking summery books. Technically it's spring though. Let me go find a spring book. I did some digging on my bookshelf and I'm not sure really what books are set in spring. I looked it up, what books are set in spring, romance books set in spring. I didn't really get anything that's on my current bookshelf. So just by looking at my books, I chose Earl's Trip by Jenny Holiday. I would assume it's set in spring or summertime just by the looks of the cover. It looks very springy to me. And also it's like a trip that they do annually. So like spring break. 3 best friends go on a trip annually. And one of them gets an urgent letter and now it's turned into Earls Plus Girls. I'll be honest, I'm a little confused. I'm not really sure what this book is about, other than 3 best friends go on a trip, something happens, and now the girls are also on the trip with them. But it's really cute, and I think it kind of gives spring just by the look of it. Is it actually springtime? I'm not sure. That's 3. 3 more to go. Okay, this one is Tipsy Pigs. Tipsy is down here. I will do this at the end, but I'm going to pick a couple of books and then put treats on them and let her pick which book. So we'll see that at the end, but let's pick another prompt and then we'll come back. Okay. Flowers on the cover. So like another springy / summery book. You really can't see anytime I hold those up. Okay, let's go through and pick up some books with flowers on the cover. Hey, this is a lot harder than I thought it was. That was actually so much harder than I thought it was. I don't have as many books with flowers on the covers than I thought. I did, however, find 2. The first one is Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. There are a couple of flowers, like, you know, in the grass behind them. But this other one that I found, which I think probably fits a bit better, is The Murmur of Bees by Sofia Segovia. This obviously has like more flowers on the cover than Out of the Woods, so we'll probably go with this one. Disfigured and covered in a blanket of bees, little Simonopio is for some locals the stuff of superstition, a child kissed by the devil. But he is welcomed by the landowners, Francisco and Beatriz Morales, who adopt him and care for him as if he's their own. As he grows up, Simonopio becomes a cause for wonder to the Morales family, because when the uncannily gifted child closes his eyes, he can see what no one else can. Visions of all that's yet to come, both beautiful and dangerous. Followed by his protective swarm of bees and living to deliver his adoptive family from threats, both human and those of nature, Simonopio's purpose in Linares will, and in time, be divined. Set against the backdrop of the Mexican Revolution and the devastating influenza of 1918, The Murmur of Bees captures both the fate of the country in flux and the destiny of one family that has put their love, faith, and future in the unbelievable. I haven't heard really anybody talk about this book. Also, because I haven't heard much about this book, I'm excited to dive into it without much of like a scope on what other people's views are. So that's super exciting. 4 books down, 2 more to go. Let's hope for some really good books. Let's hope for some really, really good books. I feel like the books I have on my TBR are books that I really haven't reached for. So maybe I could just knock some books off my TBR that I really haven't read or haven't wanted to read. A book that was gifted to me. Whale. A book that was gifted to me. I have quite a few books on my TBR that have been gifted to me. I think I have one in mind, which is Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. If you could go back in time, who would you want to meet? From what I understand, this book is about, it's a cafe where you can order a coffee. Before the coffee gets cold, you can go back in time and you have that amount of time to visit or be back in time, whatever, before your coffee runs cold. Which, honestly, coffee gets cold pretty quickly. So how fast could that be? Pretty fast. Excited about that one. Okay, one more. I feel like this TBR is really interesting. It's not books that I would typically reach for in my mood reading. They're books that have been sitting on my TBR that I just haven't picked up. So I'm excited to actually try and read these books. Okay, last and final book. Please be a good one. Please be a really, really good one. Okay. Oh! I guess that's technically 7 because I forgot I have Tipsy's book to pick. That's okay. A banned book. I have a couple of banned books on my TBR to choose from, so let me go grab one. As soon as I picked up my prompt, I knew exactly what book I was going to reach for. I bought this book a couple of months ago. This is also a memoir. It is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. These are a bunch of personal essays that the author wrote about his childhood, his teenage years, his college years. I haven't really read many memoirs. I appreciate the look into somebody else's life, their experience in childhood, and their knowledge with you, and I really My camera died as I was talking, so I don't remember what I was saying. I know I was talking about this being a memoir, and I'm really excited to read it. I did also choose 3 books that I was gonna have Tipsy choose from. I have The Wedding People by Alison Isfat, This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi, and Deepened by Ali Hazelwood. I've put the 3 books out on the floor. Each of them all have a treat on them. I don't have a treat. You smell them on me though. Okay. Okay. As you can see, Tipsy chose The Wedding People. I'm honestly not quite too sure what this is about, other than it's a bit emotional. No, it's about weddings and an unexpected wedding guest. So we ended up going with 7 books, technically 8 if you count book club, to quickly go through what books that I'm going to be hopefully reading in the month of June. Finale by Stephanie Garber for finishing a series. People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry for a mood read. Earl's Trip by Jenny Holiday for set in the current season. Murmur of Bees by Sophia Segovia for flowers on the cover. All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson for a banned book. Before the Coffee Gets Cold for a book that was gifted to me. And then finally, The Wedding People, a book chosen by Tipsy. That was my TBR jar picks, my June reads. These are really interesting picks. Honestly, not book picks I would have chosen just for myself if I was mood reading, but I do really appreciate doing a TBR because usually it helps me pick books that have been sitting on my shelf for quite a while that I haven't reached for. I'm excited to get to all of these books. Hopefully I will actually read some of these and I'll be out of the slump that I'm currently working on getting out of. Other than that, I hopefully will see you next time. Bye! Thanks for watching.